This is Chris, the Idaho Painter here on Paint Live TV. Today I'm going to be doing a door. This is the front door right here. It's a stain grade door that's been painted on one side, stain grade on the other side. We're making it paint grade on both sides. So if you want to see how this door turns out being painted on a 1950s remodel, stay tuned for this video.
Hi Chris, what can I help you find?
I just got to get some Crawford's vinyl spackling paste, and I need some Bondo spot glazing and putty. I'm gonna get some frog tape and a few abrasives, working on a 1950s remodel, restoring a door. Just gotta get a few of these items, and after I grab these items, I gotta get going to get working on this door.
Set my heart afire.
How's the duplex project coming along?
So far, so good. It's been a long project. It's coming along. We are almost done. Got a couple doors to do, and then hopefully we'll be out of there onto the next project. So, so far, so good. Once again, so cool. Have an awesome day, Maddie.
You too.
So here it is. We got to one side right here. It's a stain grade door. It started off stain grade. It's been here. It's a 1950s remodel. You can see this side has already been painted. We're gonna be painting both sides right here. I'm gonna be painting the inside to match the interior trim. We're gonna be painting the outside to match the exterior scheme of the house. And in order to paint this door, it was a stain grade door. We've got to make this thing paintable. So there's gonna be some certain things we're gonna be doing to this door to make it presentable, to look really good in the end. And you can see we're getting rid of small nicks and dings using Bondo. If there's anything large, would be using spackle. We're doing caulking of any types of seams on this. I'm using tower sealants accelerator caulking, which won't crack if you're using any type of flat paints, but it's also paintable immediately if you spray it, or you can brush it within 30 minutes. So all the seams we've caulked, there's little nail heads because it was a paint grade door. I've bondoed all those nail heads. We've sanded the door to get this. It's really grainy right here, and if you just spray this door, it's not going to fill in that grain. You got to do something to push in paint into that grain to get it to fill it. So we're going to be priming it. I'm going to be rolling it with a primer first to fill in that grain. We'll sand it, and then we'll spray our top coat on it. We've got our glass masked off with frog tape because we don't want anything bleeding off onto any paint bleeding onto our clear glass. I'll show you the opposite side right here. We're prepping this also. So this side's already been painted by the customer right here, and we've got some nicks and dings. We're bondoing right here with Bondo glazing putty, got it masked off. We've caulked this right here. It was caulked before, but we just re-caulked it to make it look a lot better, sanding it, getting it ready to spray. So we're just gonna walk you through. We're gonna show you some B-roll footage of this thing turning into a pretty cool door when it wasn't so cool to begin with. So I am doing some sanding of the Bondo. I'm going to show you. I'm using my Ecosand sander, using just 1/2-inch sponge sanding pad right here. It's a medium fine sanding pad to sand my contours and profiles on here on this glass. What's interesting about this door is it's a hollow core door on the front door, so it's not very well insulated. I wouldn't say it's a very secure door, but it is a 1950s duplex, and they did kind of some unusual things back then. We're just going with the door because the homeowner wants to stick with this door that was originally on this house. It does have a storm door on the front of it, so it does help with insulation. But I'll show you, flip it back. I'm gonna be doing some sanding on the flat parts. We're sanding with 320. I'm gonna be using some 320 Film Tech right here, sanding my flats. When I get ready to spray this door, I am going to be spraying it with a fine finish 310 tip. I'll be using a Tritech tip to spray it. On the inside, all of our trim, I'm hand brushing and rolling all the trim to get that 1950s brush look. It's been painted multiple times. It's the trim and door jambs and stuff that's been on this place since the 1950s. And so we're using Benjamin Moore Advanced to do our hand brushing and rolling. We're going to be using the Benjamin Moore Advanced to spray this door also. All right, so I got the inside of this door all sanded off. This is the stain grade side that hasn't been painted. The opposite side is the exterior part of the door that's been painted. Wasn't painted with a great product, but the paint's on there now. This side was fairly checked. We sanded it to knock down the checking, but now we're going to want to fill that in by rolling it with a primer to fill that in, and then sand it to get a nice smooth finish. Caulking's got to dry a little bit more, but we're getting close to getting this thing finished. There are some nail heads I see inside the trim here. Definitely, this is going to be the white side right here. If you don't fill these things in, you're going to have some really dark shadows that will show up. So we want to get those things filled. We're getting close to painting our door. So I'm pre-priming my door. So I'm using a fast dry oil primer that's a stain blocking primer also. It'll keep any tannins from bleeding through, get any dye migration, any of the stain from bleeding through. You definitely want to use a stain blocking primer and something that's fast dry so you can start painting it right away. But you got to be really careful not to roll over it, or you'll stipple it really bad. Little tip is, unfortunately, this roller right here is not a lint-free roller, big mistake, and it left lints all over the door itself. Typically, I use a Woven Pro roller, 3/8 inch Woven Pro, and Woven Pros from Premier Paintbrush and Roller. They are lint-free rollers, and they'll never leave these lints behind. Now, all those are going to have to be sanded out, so it's just going to cause a lot of undue sanding. So make sure you get yourself a lint-free roller. We had a lot of things we filled in up here. There was a lot of security locks and stuff like that we filled with Bondo, and we're getting rid of all those. They're just unsightly on the door. Bondoed them. Now we're priming over them. And the main purpose of this primer is to fill in all the checking that's on this door, and the checking is like the splitting in the grain. So we're filling in that checking. And then it's also a door like this where we've sanded past the lacquer finish, or if the lacquer finish is worn out on a white door, you would get tannin bleed or dye migration on a door like this, and it'd bleed right into your white paint. We don't want that to happen, so we're priming it. There we go. We got just a good coat of oil primer on here. And we're going to lightly sand that. The opposite side can be primed too. It's already been painted, so it doesn't have to be primed. If you need to do any priming on it, you could flip it now since you have a primer out. One of the questions is always, what side of the door do you do the interior color? What side of the door do you do the exterior color? When you open up a door, the edge that you see on the inside should be the interior color. When you open up the door, the edge you see on the outside should be the exterior color. Just make sure you're not getting any runs. Stuff dries extremely fast. Once again, it's a fast dry oil. Doesn't hang very well, but dries fast. And it's really nasty and stinky. A little hard to flip the door because there's no hinge holes on the side that are mounted differently. So I'm gonna look to see if I need to do any priming on opposite side. Opposite side looks good. There's nothing cut through the paint, so I don't have to do any priming. All right, there we go. We're gonna let that dry, and then we're going to sand that and sand it all nice and smooth, get it ready to paint. So our door has it's actually been drying for 2 days. The primer's dry now. Should seal any type of tannin bleed or dye migration now. We're gonna be sanding it, getting off those, the lens that were left behind. And I've actually decided to actually hand brush and roll this door so it stays consistent with the look of how everything else in this house looks, hand brushed and rolled. So you'll see me hand brush and roll this door here shortly. So I'm sanding the doors, got to get this, the lens fuzz that's left behind. I'm using Film Tech 320 to do all my flat sanding on this door now with my Ecosand 3x4. So now I'm using its open cell Ecosand sanding sponge right here. It's a medium fine sanding sponge to do the contours. All right, so we're just rolling right along here. I got the first coat done on my door. Just want to show you my setup. I got a 2-gallon bucket, cut-in bucket with a 1-gallon grid. I'm just using a 4-inch roller. This time around, when I primed it, I didn't use a lint-free roller. I did talk about Woven Pro rollers. Here it is. These are Woven Pro rollers, a 2-pack, and it tells you specifically right on the roller that it's lint-free. That's something you always want to get when you're dealing with trim. And really, you should just always be using lint-free rollers to begin with. Woven Pro 9-inch and 4-inch are lint-free rollers. I did sand the door, got the lints off. I missed a couple of them. So I want to just talk a little bit about the brush I was using. I'm using a little 1.5-inch Fat Boy brush right here. It's got a nylon polyester blend. I used this style of brush right here on this door because of the trim right here. kind of really small and narrow, and this is the easiest brush to use on something like that. And I didn't want to switch brushes to do the layout right here because you can see it went really fast. I just rolled it on with my 4-inch roller, 3/8 inch Woven Pro, and then laid it out really fast. Now this is going to dry probably about an hour or so, and I can just lightly hit sand the other little lints that are off here, get rid of those, and do my final coat. This is Benjamin Moore Advanced, which sprays out pretty dang well. It's amazing brushing and rolling. That's why we're using it in this job. I typically wouldn't do a trim job spraying it on a job like this, but we're using it because it brushes and rolls absolutely amazing, and everything we're doing here is brushing and rolling, including this door. So it's gonna roll out. This door is gonna look kind of just right in line with all the rest of the doors and trim in this house that were brushed and rolled. All right, we got a second coat rolled on this door with the Benjamin Moore Advanced. Now, Benjamin Moore Advanced is an amazing paint for brushing and rolling. One of the drawbacks to the paint, it's 16-hour dry time, and typically you'd really have to adhere to that because it doesn't sand very well if you try to sand it even around that 16-hour mark if you don't have a lot of experience. If you sand and allow your sander to begin heating up the coating, it's going to load up your abrasive, it's going to gum up your surface and really mess up your surface. I painted, I brushed on the first coat, and about an hour and a half later I sanded my first coat, but I used a super fine 1/2-inch open cell sponge from Unida, so as an Ecosilk sponge, and I very lightly went over it because there's a few little things on little lints from the roller on there that didn't get sanded after the first coat and needed to sand those off, and some other things that was in the paint that got left behind. But I was very careful not to leave my sander in one location very quick. I just went over things very fastly, and you can get away with breaking some of those rules, dry time rules, if you have a lot of experience, if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you could really damage the surface. I could have damaged the first coat and made a real mess that would take a lot longer to actually fix. So be very careful if you're not adhering to dry time rules. So got my second coat on. There's going to be some little light spots. Once again, I'm probably going to have to do a third coat, and then this door is going to be ready to go. It's going to have to be hung before the end of the day. So we're going to allow this coat to dry, hang it back up, and then do our final coat while it's hanging, because I don't have to, just around some of the edges that I need to do a third coat.